welcome, Seoul. I'm Aiden Hudson, and you're watching Korean Television Network. Tonight's news is sure to keep you interested. First, we visit the monumental Korean War Memorial, showing heartbreaking Korean history. Then we celebrate Korea's commitment towards football, sparking a national passion for the game. Later in our program, we share experiences with our own Dodia athletes as they give us their emotional trials and tribulations. You're going to want to stick around. KTN's got everything you want. First, a lesson on Korean culture. How has the Korean War shaped modern Korean culture? Find out that and more now. We have Carlos Misters on the story.
Welcome, KTN. I'm Carlos Mestres, and here behind me is the Korean War Memorial. The memorial was constructed 70 years ago in remembrance of the war fought between North and South. Though known for the divide between North and South, Korea has been no stranger to war through the centuries. Fallen soldiers, brothers in arms, divided families. This is Korean history. The memorial expresses the sorrow and heartbreak of those who have suffered through the many wars of Korea, from the castles that were constructed to protect the Koreans from the Mongols, the ships they fabricated against the Japanese invasion, to the shells fired from the mortars against their former brethren. Over 2 millennia, the Koreans faced conflict from all angles. A culture of defense gave the Koreans a steadfast nature. Headstrong, the Koreans reigned through many kingdoms over the last 24 centuries. In the 20th century, Korea had finally been occupied by the Japanese Empire. Despite being freed from Japanese control, the Korean War was only a few years post-World War II. The Korean War took countless lives from those fighting for their nation. The Korean War Memorial hopes to give all those who perished a way to live on for eternity unforgotten. Flags hang from all the countries who helped aid Korea and for those brave soldiers and citizens who gave their lives in the South Korean fight for democracy. South Korea now stands behind over 70 years of democracy. Through its up and downs, South Korea has fought hard for the nation it's become today. Carlos Mestres, KTN. Back to you, Aiden.
Thank you, Carlos. Korea has seen a change in their sports culture. The new culture is a football culture, sparked by the World Cup hosted here in 2002. Here in Seoul stands World Cup Stadium, a figure of the rise in football popularity here in Korea. Carlos Mestres has more on the story.
I'm Carlos Mestres, and I'm here today at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. The Seoul World Cup Stadium, also known as the Sanggan Stadium, was constructed 17 years ago for the 2002 FIFA World Cup. In that World Cup, Korea placed 4th overall, which was a historic finish.
It was a good place to be here, even because I'm Brazilian and Brazil won the World Cup. It brings me good memories from 2002. We had a very good squad, so it was a good time.
Yeah, you remember we used to wake up at like 7 in the morning to watch a game in Europe because of the time zone difference.
And here they have a lot of technology.
Yeah, technology.
Implement that, it's just amazing. They have a big shopping mall inside with a big main court with restaurants, supermarket. It's amazing. It's great.
The World Cup Stadium is a symbol for fans everywhere. The roof is built like a traditional Korean kite, flying high, just like the future of soccer here in Korea and around the world. Back to you in the studio.
Breaking news back at the Dragon Hill Lodge. 4 athletes give their stories. Let's head to the field now.
Hey KTN, I'm Carlos Mestres, and we're here today to interview 4 students and how they overcame adversity in their sports.
I had to overcome a whole new mindset of remembering why I loved hurdles so much and relearning my passion for running.
Sophia spoke about her injury very lightly, almost always referring to her affection for track, wanting to get back into the action. Matthew seemed devastated, understandably so. His injury was quite bad. He would be unable to return to football, something he very much loved.
It kind of builds your passion more when you're injured because you want.
Kate was ever hopeful in her volleyball career, continuing to look into schools which suited her, allowing her to focus on her studies.
Yeah, don't give up. Embrace.
Ateria had similar interests as Kate, focusing on school, but she didn't want to fully abandon basketball, continuing to be active by being a basketball manager.
Carlos Mestres, KTN, back to you at the studio.
Thank you, Carlos. It is unfortunate that such talented athletes are having to take time off, if not fully retiring, especially in their final year of high school, despite all the work they put into their passion and hobby. Though it is impossible to change the past, these athletes continue to push themselves for a better future. On a similar note, what about our future? Find out after this short PSA.
When staying at your hotel, be considerate. When washing your one-use towel. The earth is a fragile place. Be conservative with your water usage. Don't be like that guy.
It's so easy to do your part to help conserve the planet. That's all for today, KTN. I've been Aiden Hudson, your host, and this is Korean Television Network. Good night, Seoul.